Hello, I'm Lowell Martin, and this is MCC Today. Prepare to be amazed. On today's show, we have Flora, Sumrall, Jeanette, Howell, Bethany, Bratu, and Laura Lewis. You're going to learn a lot, so stay tuned.
Thank you to the teachers for encouraging me when I wasn't sure where to start, for seeing my potential even when I didn't, for inspiring me to reach farther and try harder.
Thank you, MCC. You helped me change my future.
Find your wings at MCC.
We are here with Dr. Laura Lewis. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's the
Wonderful.
first week of school.
Yay! Spirit fingers.
all the preparation and all the stuff, and it's all coming together now.
Yep.
Now you are an instructor here.
Health and wellness. Yes.
Health and wellness, and you've been doing that for how long now?
Well, 15 years.
Yes.
Actually started
You
out
didn't,
as a
yeah,
recruiter.
you didn't start out as a, because I've known
Right.
her for forever. Okay.
But I've always been a health and wellness advocate.
Yes.
I've started that back when I was in school and when I was 21. I've been doing this for a very long time.
Yes.
Outside of MCC.
Yes.
So.
Now, I wanted you on the show today to kind of talk about what students should, students start out and classes can be stressful.
Mm-hmm.
Studying can be stressful.
Correct.
All of these things can be stressful. How can students de-stress? And I want to talk about what are ways to kind of keep the stress levels, to maintain manageable stress levels,
Right.
and also possibly look at eating habits.
Okay. Well, the very first thing that I would say students should, think about is their sleep.
Okay.
That is the number one thing that students can do to kind of ward off a lot of that stress that they've been dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know how many hours of sleep you should be getting every night, right?
Well, for me, typically about 7 or 8 is good. I wake up feeling refreshed.
Yes,
Okay.
7 to 8.
Because 8, when they say 8 is an average, right? Am I right in that? 8 is an average. Some people
would
need more
believe
than
that
8.
would-
Some people need less.
That would be
fewer
a really good assessment, yes.
Okay. Okay. I tell students this in my class, study skills, that one of the most important things that they should do is make sure they're getting sleep, because when you're studying or when you think you need extra time to study and you need extra stuff, the first thing that goes is sleep.
That's correct, yeah.
And it should not be.
Right.
Because that only adds to your stress level.
Right. Because you
later.
feel exhausted. And I was telling my students the other day that, when you go out on Friday, Saturday night, and you wake up on Sunday and you have sleep debt that has accumulated over the last couple of days, by Monday, you're still behind. And that's why a lot of students come in completely exhausted. They look like zombies, and they just don't want to really focus or do anything. So that is exactly why, sleep should be at the top of the priority list.
And how much caffeine should
Limit
we be
it to
taking?
like 8 ounces first thing in the morning, because caffeine can stay in the body for up to 10 hours or even longer, believe it or not.
Really?
Yes.
And now, what about, I see a lot of energy drinks.
Oh, yeah, terrible for us, especially if you're drinking it later on during the day. And that's another reason why students can't fall asleep until midnight or after midnight, because if they drink if they drink caffeine at 3 or 4 in the afternoon, or even smoke cigarettes, it's keeping them wired until 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's why they can't go to sleep.
When a student is trying to sleep, where should their phone be?
Oh gosh, stuck in a drawer somewhere, completely turned off. Get a normal, regular alarm
Is that what
clock.
you do? Is your phone turned off?
I'm not going to tell you what I do. No, but seriously, you need to have it away, turned off somewhere where you can't see light or hear sounds. Even if it's on vibrate, you should not have it on vibrate, because any noise, like I'm a light sleeper, so I can't have lights or even a vibration around me, or it will wake me up.
So sleep is very important.
Yep.
What about exercise?
Oh, extremely important. That actually helps you go to sleep. So, all of these things kind of help each other and they interconnect. So getting exercise, 3 to 4 times a week is really good for stress, dealing with stress, coping with stress. And I try to tell students, if you haven't ever worked out before, start a routine, 3 times a week, maybe 30 minutes at a time, and just start there, doing some sort of cardio activity or weight training.
Okay.
That's what I would suggest.
And so when you say exercise, it does not have to be just hard exercise.
No, absolutely
you can take
not.
a walk.
Absolutely not.
It could be,
yeah.
You could do a
Walks,
couple of miles.
You can, get in we have a pool at the fitness center. If you
have
like to
everything at the
swim,
fitness center.
yeah, if you like to swim, go for a swim. Even jogging in place, in the pool would be really good exercise. So there's so many things you can do. And one thing that I would say is, there's a difference between physical activity and exercise, right? So exercise is more repetitive, more consistent as far as, not stopping and starting. Physical activity, you have more stopping and starting, but we want to do exercise.
Okay.
Repetitive, planned, structured movement.
Okay. And we want to try to at least have 3 times a week.
3 times
20
a week,
minutes.
20 to 30 minutes to start.
Okay, and then hopefully build on that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Especially if you're trying to lose weight.
Do you, and I remember 40 million years ago when I was in college, that they talked about the freshman 15.
Yes. Now they're saying freshman 25.
Okay, and what is that?
Well, generally when you come in right out of high school, students are more active, sometimes more active when they're in high school. They have
Right.
a lot more activities they're doing, during the school day, maybe even after the school day. And when they go to college, a lot of what they have been doing has changed. So you're doing more studying, you're sitting longer, you're in front of the computer longer, so our activity level has decreased. But what hasn't decreased? Our
you're
food
eating.
intake. So it's kind of like rollover minutes. It just adds up, and then
like
you gain.
that.
Yeah, I look at it like rollover minutes. You just,
Okay.
it accumulates, and then you just start to gain that weight.
I think I'm in the hundreds of thousands over minutes.
Yeah. So I tried to make sure that I'm using what, as far as how many calories I'm consuming in a day.
And what about what they're consuming?
Food.
The nutrition.
Yeah, and that's a big one.
'Cause I'm just going to say,
it's
this
easy,
woman
convenience.
is the most dedicated. She has what she's going to eat.
Yeah,
It's
most of
there.
the time.
She knows, I think, weeks in advance.
No, I don't know about that, unless I'm training for something specific.
Sure.
I do try to eat from home. Today I'm not going to eat from home. I'm actually going to eat in the cafeteria. So,
Chicken day.
yay.
Okay.
So, try to do salad, a lot of salads, a lot, not just small salads, but if I'm going to eat salad, I eat a lot of it. I'm not going to shy away from carbohydrates. People
Right.
tend to do that, but carbs
But you
are
should.
good,
Yeah,
It's food for the brain. And then, of course, protein and healthy fats.
Not the sugar-coated.
Not the sugar-coated
Stuff.
candies and the honey buns and the snack cakes. You want to lessen all of that, increase more of the fruits and the vegetables, make sure you're eating less fat, saturated fatty foods like beef. Sorry.
Listen, I want to thank you for being here. I'm going to have you on later in the semester because I think we could dedicate a whole show to this.
Yes,
where
we
we're
could.
going to talk about how to be a healthier version of you.
Definitely.
All
Love
right.
to be here.
We'll be right back.
Not essential. Never let anyone tell you that again. Never doubt your abilities to make a difference. How do I know this about you? Because I'm a teacher. I am the one who will push you harder and farther than you could have ever imagined. Teach you things that you never thought possible. And if you will give me 100%, then I will stand shoulder to shoulder with you, and together we will change your future. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with the wonderful Miss Flora Sumrall. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm
Pretty good.
glad to hear. Now, you are here. Well, first off, your title is?
Business Office Management Technology, and I'm Program Coordinator.
Oh my.
Yes.
There's a lot on your plate.
It is. Big plate.
And you do a lot, and you help a lot, and we're most appreciative about that. But your program, Business Office Management Technology, okay, what exactly do you do in that program?
I'll back it up just a little bit.
Okay.
We actually have an umbrella, which is Business Office Technology. And so under that, we have Business Office Management, we have Medical Office Management, and our newest one is Accounting Technology. That's under that program. And so I'm the
Because you
business
cannot
side.
be satisfied with just
No.
one or two things.
We want everybody. So what happens is my program, all students start out in the business part.
Okay.
We start out with those classes, we start out the business classes, and they sort of branch off in the second semester. They know when they come in what they want to be, but we have the business office, and then some stay in business office, and the others sort of branch off into either accounting or medical office management.
Okay. Now, is this a 2-year program?
It is.
Okay.
But we have certificates as well, but we encourage our students, get those certificates, but go for that degree.
So as they're progressing through the program, when they reach a certain a point, they can get a certificate.
Right.
But you say, please stay in the program,
Right.
because you will benefit more at the end
Right.
if you have the is it AAS degree?
AAS.
In the AAS degree. Now, what are the prerequisites to get into your program?
We really don't have prereqs. There are some minimum requirements here.
Okay.
Such as attain a 15 composite on the ACT.
Okay.
Or they could score a 230 or higher on the AccuPlacer, the reading section, in the math section of it. Earn a C or above if they have the English and reading.
Okay.
And so, but we really don't have a lot of restrictions as far as you have to take all of these courses before you can come into our program.
Now, do you, during the 2 years, do they, are there other college classes that they take while they're in your program? Because some programs do that. They'll have a time for them to take Comp 1 or maybe college algebra or something like that. Do y'all do that?
We do. It's on our planning
Okay.
sheet. We have 4 semesters, and it depends if they're going for a certificate. That part might move up a little bit, but they have to take like speech. They have the English comp they take. It's some classes on a general ed side that they take.
Okay, okay. Now, if you've got a student who is sitting there and doesn't know what they want to go into, that has no clue, how can you recommend your program?
You always put me on the spot, don't you?
I love
See,
to.
You're supposed to
That's
tell
why
me
she
what I'm
gives
going
me
to be
the
talking
dirty
about.
looks.
Yes. Because when they come through our program, they learn a lot. Not
Okay.
only that, a lot of our students come in and they already have classes. Like mostly when students come in and they're undecided, they have like English comp. They start out with the basic things. So when they come into our program, they're already ahead because
Okay.
they have those classes out of the way. But I recommend our program. This was my program. I went through this program in 2002. But this program, I mean, I'll give you an example. I had a student who graduated in May. What is this? They just graduated.
Okay,
Okay, the student just
2021.
graduated, and she called me the other day to inform me that she was so excited. She was working her job, which was fast food. She was still at the fast food restaurant. Someone came through, she was talking to them, and they began to talk about the day they were having, and she began to tell them about the program she just finished. They gave her a card and said, come see me today. She is an office manager, and she has a period of time to hire some people to work under her, but she's so excited. The pay is great, and when you finish our program, we pretty much go through a lot of stuff, and people pretty much know what they want to do before they leave. And not only that, we have contact with businesses, different people, whether on campus, in the community, different areas, people who contact other people, and we pretty much, through their internship, have them placed, most of them.
So the job opportunities are out there.
They're out there.
When they complete this program.
And when they complete, we don't just say, okay, you have your degree, get lost.
Sure.
Before they leave, we're already talking to people and saying, we have this student here. And working with Shannon Coleman, we put them into internships, and a lot of students get jobs from those internships.
Sure.
And they're already working by the time they leave here.
Is the money good?
The
I don't mean to say that
But
because
people wanna know.
but you got to be able to live.
You want to know if the money is good. And I have students who the money, for me, I say the money is okay, then it's some the money is good.
Okay.
So it depends on where you're going to work and who you're going to work for and how bad they want you. So some people who go into the managing position, their pay is going to be better, and depending on who they're working for, as some who will go into an entry-level position. And I tell students, before you can wear the uniform, you have to actually get on the team.
That's
And
right.
so I have some who will get into a position that's entry-level, not making as much money. They might start out at like 30-something thousand, and then they'll call me back and say, Miss Sumrall, guess what? I got a raise. I've had students who, one locally here, started a job that I talked her into taking. Well, just take it and try it. And she's been there all these years, and immediately after she started, she got a raise.
Good.
Because a lot of people, when they hire you, you can say you can do it, but they want to know what can you do before they offer you.
And a lot of times,
Positions.
you also, the experience is invaluable
is.
too. So sometimes you start out, you're not going to be making mega bucks, but it will come. Not megabucks, but a decent money.
bucks, yeah.
Now, how many students do you accept in the fall?
As many as will come.
Okay.
Because
So
I've had.
you don't
where
have a
there's
limit on-
No, I don't. I have a limit on a class.
Okay.
Let's just say I have 20 students in math.
Okay.
If I have 20 in math, more students come, then what we do is open up another section of math.
Okay.
And now with the way things are going, I have students that are, and I can't say this is for everyone, but for me, I have students who are actually in the classroom. Then I have students who are on my desk or on the wall in teams. They're conferencing in, and then I have those students who say, I just can't come to campus because I work. And then those students will watch these videos and watch the actual lecture, do the work, and they're still part of the class.
Do you only accept new students in the fall or fall and spring?
Fall and spring.
Okay, so there's no just once a year.
Right,
getting-
we haven't reached that
And you
point.
don't have classes in the summer?
No. Occasionally, some of us might teach a course. If I have students who need to graduate,
Okay.
then we'll teach that course. If not, get them in through online and let them take it with another college.
Well, if you don't mind, and I'm just going to mention just a bit of your background to talk about, how sometimes you can come back to school and
Yeah.
retool some, because you worked for many years at a particular place that closed down,
Right.
and then you came back to school and basically remade yourself.
I had to. And when we see that now, I know a long time ago when I worked with people at the factory and they had been there for 30 years and retired, we don't see that now. I don't even see factories. So I had to come back. I either had to take a job that I didn't want to take, or I had to come back
Sure.
and rebuild myself all over again.
Hey, and I had the privilege of being one of your teachers when you first came back. And I was
Yes.
so, but just to see her from then and now, you were wonderful then. You're extraordinary now.
I'll pay you later.
Sure, thank you. But I just wanted to, I'm glad you're on the show. I want to have you back on, and we're going to talk about a lot of other things that will make you give me dirty looks as far as your program is concerned. Okay?
Okay, that'll work for me.
Thank you
Let
so
me know
much.
ahead of time.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College. For more than 75 years, we've helped students soar. Establishing the first tuition guarantee program in Mississippi, we put our students first while creating pathways into the workforce and offering a seamless transition to a 4-year degree. Now is the time to find your purpose and register today, because those who move forward never get left behind. MCC, find your wings.
And we are here with the wonderful Miss Jeanette Howell and Miss Bethany Bratu. How are y'all doing today?
Good.
Now, Jeanette, what is your official title?
I am the CTE Support Services Coordinator.
Okay. And Bethany?
Accessibility Services Proctor. We've rebranded. We
Okay.
used to be Disability Support Services. Now we're Accessibility Services, just to be more inclusive and welcoming.
Okay. And so what exactly is your job, Jeanette?
With CTE Support Services, so I'm kind of like the first half, like when students come in, they bring me their documentation if they're looking for accommodations, and I go through that documentation and I let them know if they're approved or not, and then we send everything out to the teachers, and we go from there. They contact us when they're ready to use those accommodations.
And the thing is, and this is one of the reasons I wanted y'all on the show at the beginning of the semester, is it is very different from high school.
Yes.
Okay? Because in high school, what is the process in high school?
In high school or even elementary, like it just depends on when you're identified. Students are going to class, they're doing their work, they're getting grades, and they're not going to be referred for accommodations unless they're failing or unless a parent recommends testing. And even if a parent recommends testing, that doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Okay.
So, but it's called child find in the public school, where they're very conscious. They're always looking out, trying to figure out who needs accommodations to be successful. Okay. With college, it's completely different. In college, you have to self-identify. I'm
Right.
not coming out looking for you.
Right.
If you need accommodations, you've got to come to me, provide the documentation to prove that you need those accommodations, and then we'll get those set up for you.
Now we have the more, someone is blind, someone is deaf.
Right.
Okay, someone is in a wheelchair. We've got those, but there are other accommodations that that you don't see.
Yes.
Of people, you don't see what the issue is, such as
dyslexia. You've got neurodivergence. Some people have medical disabilities. They might be out a lot, and we might need to find different ways for them to still meet the requirements for that course.
Okay.
It's a myriad of things.
Yes, like
Okay.
it could be anything. If the documentation is there, then we can work with that.
Okay, so what does a student, so the student comes to you, self-identifies,
Yes.
and then what?
I have some intake paperwork for us here at MCC.
Okay.
It's like 3 or 4 pages. They fill that out, and then they need to bring me the documentation. I've made a RAC card for us. I'm trying to get the information out there so they don't have to keep coming back to me. Like, they can come with their documentation already, and we can do it all in one go. Because once they get the paperwork to me, it's 2 days before 2 business days before those accommodations go into effect.
Right.
So I'm like, when you're here, I want you to already have everything so we can go ahead and get everything done and signed, and then 2 days later, bam.
Well, if they have, well, first off, they have to have something from a doctor, right?
Either a doctor or if they had accommodations in high school,
Okay.
they can bring me their IEP or their 504.
Okay. If it's recent, or what's the time period? Like, if they have one that's like 6 years old.
If it's an IEP or 504, we tend to honor it.
Okay.
Just because you might.
Those are generally learning disabilities.
Learning disabilities,
Okay.
And
yeah.
a learning disability doesn't disappear in
Right.
6 years.
Right.
Okay.
And you only see it really in an educational environment.
Okay.
Like, I go to work, I'm fine, but when I'm being educated, that's when I start seeing, so if it's an IEP 504, we're probably going to honor that depending on the circumstances.
Okay.
But if it is from a doctor, a medical facility, 3 years is
Okay.
the time period.
Okay. So if someone comes in and they self-identify and then bring you their documentation and everything, how long does it take for you to be able to offer these services?
2 business days.
You said 2 business days. Okay. And because I know that, sometimes I get emails saying, so-and-so, there will be, has been, or I don't remember
Is
how it's
receiving
worded.
accommodation.
Yeah.
Is receiving accommodations. Now, what type of accommodations might they receive?
Most common, we have extended testing time.
Which you do a lot of that, don't
Yes,
you?
Yes.
I
Okay.
pretty much do all of our students that receive a testing accommodation. That's pretty much my job. That's where the proctor part comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I coordinate every single student at MCC, whether they are a university transfer student, a cosmetology student, a welding student, a nursing student. Every single student that has the proper documentation can qualify, depending on what the recommendations of their doctor are, for accommodations. And when they receive testing accommodations, I oversee all of that testing. I make sure we get all of our students tested in the appropriate time frames. And especially it gets a little tight, at finals, but we get it done because
Yeah.
it's very important to their success for them to complete their tests.
But they can like be in a room, very quiet by themselves,
Yes.
and they possibly have time and a half or double time for testing.
Yes, so generally we do extended test time, which is time plus 1/2. In certain circumstances, and depending on the disability that we're working with, they can have double test time. So that generally comes with students who need their test read aloud to them,
Okay.
or if they have another circumstance that's going on, with things that get evaluated when they first meet with Jeanette, is we all work on that together to figure out what's the best possible way to get the student to succeed.
And the thing is, we're not helping them as
Right.
far as testing. We're trying to level the playing field.
Yes.
That's the whole point, is to try to level the playing field, to say, okay, we're with this extra time because
Right.
of this learning disability.
Jeanette's favorite phrase is tearing down barriers.
Yeah.
in
Yes.
tearing down barriers, which is very important.
Yes.
So how can a person get in touch with you?
They can call or email me, or they can come see me in Reed. My office will be moving. Not sure where it's going to be, but right now it is Reed. So if you want to be sure, you can call me or you can email me.
Okay, can you give your email?
Yes, I can. It's ehowell@meridiancc.edu, and my number is 601-484-8777.
Okay, and then so once they do that, and as you said, if they bring all the documentation
Yes.
with them, fill out the paperwork, 2 business days, hopefully you can get everything
Yes.
accomplished with that. Is there anything else as far as the testing that you would like people to know?
Is there anything else with testing that we need people to know? Generally,
Thank you for translating.
once they do receive those accommodations, you know, there's a time frame that they need to schedule a test.
Yeah.
They need to, as soon as you find out about the test, it's best to reach out then and let me know.
So they call you directly to schedule the test?
They call me directly, or they send me an email, stop by the office, something like that, because we don't do day of testing.
Right.
So when if you forget,
Especially midterms and finals.
yeah, I can't really do walk-ins. I have a small space. I have 10 rooms, which I'm very grateful for, but it's just 10 rooms, and at the moment we have almost 50 students already for the semester.
Okay.
And it's just August.
Well, listen, I want to thank both of y'all for being on today, and I want to have you on again to talk about this again, because I think it is important, and I think it is important for people to understand, you know, that sometimes you don't necessarily see a learning disability, but we still have to tear down walls.
Yeah.
Okay? But thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Since 1996, the MCC Foundation Tuition Guarantee Program has provided students an opportunity to find their potential. Thousands of students have benefited from the program. Over $6 million have been invested in the students who learn and live right here in our community. This program is funded by individuals and businesses who believe in our students, our families, and the economic impact of an education at Meridian Community College. Now is your chance to offer support. Give today at meridiancc.edu/give.
On behalf of executive producers Matt Milner and Tanisha Clark, media specialist Josh Taylor, and student producer Jerome Rackley, thank you for watching. Hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you next week.